What's up, Saints? So let's talk about Logos Bible software. That's what we're going to cover in this video today. It's probably not going to be very long, but it's a subject that's come up for me over the last couple of weeks. And I just wanted to tell you what I know. Now, I did a couple of videos on basically Logos and Accordance and kind of took a look at the two, and I had just started getting into digital Bible software. So before you say anything, yes, I know that it's funny that not the Bible review guy, that would be like Randy Brown. But a Bible review guy doesn't use a paper Bible anymore. Maybe we'll cover that on a different video, because the first time that I showed up to church without an actual physical Bible, it was kind of funny. And people made comments. But now, most of the time, I carry my iPad. So I got into Logos, I want to say about 6 months to a year ago. And there was reasons that I got into digital Bible software. And since then, I have grown in my love for this software and in my desire to use it more and more. So let me tell you why. I got involved in this is because I found myself needing to or wanting to be able to do more studying on the go other than just right here in this room. You can see that I have plenty of books behind me and plenty of commentaries over here on these shelves, and I love them. And I'm not going to get rid of them, at least not right now, because you can't take physical books away from me, but technically digital software you could lose. And so that is a little bit of a worry. That's a little bit of something that comes up and why people drag their feet when it comes to the difference between digital software and using something like an iPad or a phone. But I wanted to be able to do more studying. And as I started writing more sermons and lessons and Bible studies, going through, I always get the finger wrong here, going through these commentaries and these books takes a lot of time. It really, and I have to be sitting here in my office. I can't do it out in the kitchen. I can't do it in the car. I can't do it at church. I have to be sitting right here in my office in order to do all that. And then I have to good old-fashioned thumb through the pages, and hopefully I find the highlight in the section that I want. And that's all really, really time-consuming. And I knew that there is a better way. Now, truth be told, I am a little bit of a tech guy. I'm not good at tech, but I like technology and how it can help me use my time better, use my time more wisely. And so I do my best to do those things. So I started investigating Accordance and Logos, and I fell in love with the Logos software because I use it for the last year. I've been using it on my iPad. I have the big version of the iPad, so I have plenty of screen space. And I started using the two. I still use Accordance often because I have a handful of resources on Accordance, but most often I use Logos. And I want to tell you this up front. I am a Logos affiliate, so I'm not trying to sell you something here today. I'm just telling you what my experience is. But I want to put this out there. I do happen to be a Logos affiliate now, and I'll put a link down in the description to this video if you want. I think you get about 10% off if you buy any Logos products, and then I get a little minimal kickback from that. So if you want to do that and you want to buy through that link, fantastic. But I'm not here to sell you something, because up until recently, I was using it essentially for free. So I am going to pop over to my iPad here in a minute just to show you how I use this software at a real basic level. This is not going to be a tutorial, but I'm going to show you how I use it at a basic level. And in the future, we're going to get into more features and functions and how you can use it and go and do even deeper dives. But like I said, I got this software for free because Logos didn't give me any kickbacks. They didn't help me out when it came to reviewing their product. But it's a product that I like and I use, so I reviewed it anyway, of course. And I just got the free version. Now, when you download the free version onto your computer or onto your mobile device, it's going to be essentially what is Logos 9. You get a handful of free resources, but they're minimal. And the resources are important, and we'll get into that when we jump over to the iPad. But I just downloaded it for free, and then I purchased a couple of study Bibles. So each of the resources that I purchased were between like 10 and 20 bucks. And essentially, I made sure to have a copy of the ESV Bible and the New King James Version Bible and the Christian Standard Bible. And all of those, especially when they go on sale, are $5 or $10. And then I bought the study notes to some of those Bibles. You guys know what my top 5 are, right? I bought the top 5, really, the ESV Study Bible Notes, the Reformation Study Bible Notes, Johnny Mack's the MacArthur Study Bible Notes, the Open Bible Notes, and that's really it. I bought the top 4 just so I could use them to check them out and to be able to see how this software works. And the more I used it, the better it got. And I'll be honest, I'm a Mac guy. If you're not a Mac guy, go ahead and hate on me down in the comments. But all my Apple devices, as much as I don't like the company, they just work. I plug them in, they do what I need to do, they all talk to each other, and guess what? The deeper you are into Apple, the more you start to like it and appreciate it because of how well they all work together. Well, Logos works in a similar fashion to this because the deeper I got into Logos, the more it all works together and does. So let me show you how I'm using it, and we're going to stick to the iPad for now. In one of the future videos that I do, the more I learn and the more I cover, I will show you a little bit more about how to use the desktop version, because I've been using the desktop extensively over the last couple of months in our series on Galatians. Right now we're at the beginning of our series going through the book of Galatians together, and I've been using this a whole ton. So let's switch over to the iPad now. You'll still be able to hear my voice here, but nobody cares about my face anyway. And I'm going to try this fancy thing because I'm on an Apple. Look, I think that you guys can see that cursor, right? So that's awesome. So let me show you a couple of ways that I use this. First of all, you see what's labeled here as a chronological Bible reading plan. If I click on that, you're going to get my reading plan. So I'm reading through it chronologically. I think I'm like 42% of the way. And that's it. It's right here. When you get done with your reading for the day, it'll even read it to me. You just click on next down here at the bottom right, and it'll give you that. I want to show you what the overview looks like. So you get all your reading sessions, and you can, by the way, build your own reading plans. You can read through it cover to cover. You can, again, build your own. There's a whole lot of reading plans that you can choose. I just happen to be going through the chronological version, and you can do that in any of the Bibles that you own or that you read through. So that is one of the first ways that I used this, and that's one of the reasons I downloaded this. Tim Challies uses the 5, or he used to, I don't know what he does now. He talked about it, and he uses, I think, the 5, 5, and 5 plan, which just goes through 5 days a week. You read different things, and it's a fantastic way to use that. Okay, but as you can see here on my home screen, I have a bunch of stuff. So I'm studying 1 Peter in like my small group, my shepherding group with one of the elders at my church. I'm studying Galatians on my own here as I preach it to you guys. I have Sunday morning, our pastor's going through 1 Samuel, so I keep some of that information. So when I get there on Sunday morning, it just opens up. So when I click that, you'll see, look, what do you know? It jumps right to where we were, 1 Samuel 19. And then I just have, if you swipe over, a couple of extra resources, Holman Illustrated Study Bible Maps. Now, again, you have to purchase these resources. So I want to be forthcoming with you guys here. Oh, this was something I was looking at earlier. But you do have to purchase these resources, but you can connect them together. And when you connect them, they look like this. So you can add as many little panes as you want. They can all follow each other. See how this little, where I'm highlighting this little orange, if I'm wrong on the color, sorry. This little orange A, that means these two follow this one. This is A, and when I move, it probably won't do it. No, it won't do it while I'm in that screen, but when I move like this, it'll move. Let me give you a little bit better of an example of that. So we'll click back here to my home page, and let's say that we're doing our 1 Peter study here. And I'm going through 1 Peter, and I'm going to tell you all about my notes here in just a minute. So you have all my little screens that are open, and they just live open, or they live in the background here, and I'm going to click on the ESV because that's where I'm reading. In just a minute, I'm going to tell you about how I use all these colors and notes here. But for now, as I scroll through 1 Peter, you'll see all of my little study Bibles are open and also scroll through 1 Peter. And they will scroll through 1 Peter together. If there's no information, this is the Open Bible and doesn't have any information on that particular passage, right? And then we can go to the Apologetics Study Bible. You can see the title of where you're at the top. And I also have the CSB attached here so I can read it in a different translation. So this is just for my 1 Peter study. Now, since we're here in 1 Peter, I want to show you guys a couple of things that I'm really excited about. So let me jump back to myself, not that you want to see my face, before I talk to you about notes and some other things that this does, how you might use this to study, and the ways that you can highlight. This is just going to be highlighting and note-taking within Logos. This is why I'm so excited about it. It's because you can take notes, you can highlight in multiple different colors, and the more you use it, the better it gets, okay? So I'm a notes guy. I like taking notes, but I have found that writing physical notes in my books, while they help me, because physiologically writing things out, believe it or not, helps you remember. But as I have found, as I take notes in all these books back here, the amount of time I spend going back to look at them is either extensive because I'm looking for a note that I can't find, or it takes a bunch of time. And again, you have to have the book, or I never look at it again. But when I use technology, I'm going to be honest with you folks, the notes are all right there and they become searchable. And I'm going to show you a little bit of what that looks like right now. So let's jump back over to the iPad. And as I'm looking through 1 Peter, you can see a bunch of different, let me get my cursor back over there. I hope you guys can see this cursor. And the only reason this is possible is because I'm using a Mac, as a matter of fact. So you can see different colors here. So what I did was, I don't use colors a whole lot because for those of you who know me know that I'm colorblind, and some colors don't stand out to me. So I can only pick the colors that are real super poppy, for lack of a better term. It's one of the reasons I don't really underline. Some of you guys who use these Pigma Micron pens, they're fantastic. They work great in physical Bibles, but I can't tell the difference between all the colors, so I can't use them. So I just highlighted and read all the things that stood out to me that I had questions on. Things that I wanted to bring up, I wanted to talk about. Things that I highlighted here in yellow, as you can see, are just verses that stood out to me that were important. And then a couple of other, and really I only have green here, things that had notes attached to them that I wanted to talk about. Now, what I want to talk about more than the highlights, because you can highlight, look, you can outline. This word hope is, you can see there's a box around hope. There's a box around it here, and there's a box around it here at the bottom, because this passage has to do with hope. I just made a short on that. Go watch it. But it has to do with hope. So here's what I want to show you, and I'm just going to pick this word salvation, and just this one word. Okay, so it'll pop up the last few things that you used. You can double underline here. You can highlight in red, underline in blue. You can do all these things, but you're thinking, well, that's kind of boring. Guess what? There's additional styles. Look at all these ways that you can highlight. These are your recents, but you can highlight with color. You can change the color of the text. Okay. They have these emphasis markups. You can put a box around it, put a color brackets, double underline. Look at all the ways that you can highlight, underline, and emphasize the text that you're reading for the reason that you want, whatever it happens to be. You can put these little symbols. You can come up with your own way of marking up the text. So what I started to do, I'm going to cancel out of that, is take notes. Again, because I can't tell a lot of these things. I can see a box, I can see a highlight, but maybe I want to click on salvation and write a note. So right here, you have notes. And this is going to get better than just the notes. I'm going to take a note. This is just an example note, right? But here's what, oh, no, not. This is just an example note. So it is tagging, if you can see right here where the cursor is, 1 Peter 1:10 ESV. That's the anchor. That's the verse that it's attached to. So you can click on that anywhere you are and get back to it. That's going to make a little more sense in just a second. It took this notes in my Galatians notebook. Notebooks, you say? What are you talking about? So I'm going to change it to my 1 Peter study. So now it is in notebook. I'm going to show you what that means in a minute. And just for kicks, I happen to be taking my First Peter notes in yellow, but look at all the ways that you can change this to, and I'm going to change it just so you get an idea. If you want it to be a green little minus mark, when it shows up there in your notes, where are we here? Salvation. The note should change. So you're going to be able to open it, and you're going to open this note, and it's going to show up as whatever color that is. I have a hard time with a little minus mark, and you're going to get a notebook. So here we go. See all this? This opened up your notebook, and I'm going to go back here for a minute and show you what this notebooks mean. So I have notes on my First Peter. These are all the notes I've taken on First Peter at the moment. Okay, we're just at the beginning of First Peter. And I've just started building notebooks. I just started doing this, but for example, you guys know, and I talk about this often, I study Roman Catholic theology. It has helped me build my own theology and understand the Bible better. And I have a lot of friends and family members that are Roman Catholic. So when I want to talk to them and when I want to go through scripture, I want my notes to stand out. So I built all the notes as little blue check marks here. So anytime I see a blue check mark, if we can get back to the actual Bible, here's one of them right here. So this little blue check mark right here stands out to me, and I know that this specific note has to do with Roman Catholic doctrine and why it's incorrect. And I'm just going to put it that way because I will attach to these notes. I don't have a ton of them sitting right here, but I will attach to these notes. Let's go to Hebrews, different documents and different accounts, right? So let's go to Hebrews 1, and I know that in Hebrews 7 down here, I have some more of these notes that I want to be able to show you. Okay, so see all these little blue check marks? They all say different things for different reasons, and you can scroll through them and read them. You can attach different parts of scripture to them, and you can just jump from place to place. You can attach quotes from different books, okay, from the Catechism of the Catholic Church. This is a note that comes from the Catechism of the Catholic Church, and I have placed a note in there, and it shows it all up in this. So every book that you have in your library, you can attach to each other. You can drop little links, essentially, for lack of a better word. You can drop links in there and do a whole lot of studying and research and connecting things together. For a guy like me, that's extremely helpful. So I told you this was going to be the basics, and we're going on 17 minutes here. But I want to just let you know this. This software is capable of doing a whole lot. There are a couple of guys out there that have done fantastic kind of demonstrations and tutorials on this. I'll point you towards a guy named Alan Parr. His channel is called The Beat. He's one of the big boys here on YouTube, but he does a lot of Logos training and software. So go check his channel out if you want some in-depth tutorials before I do some and before I bring them out on how I use this and how I study. But I want to show you how powerful this software is. I wanted to take a minute to let you know that you can even essentially check it out for free. Just download it and start reading the Bible on it. Maybe buy 1 or 2 Bibles or a study Bible. Just so you can see how you can highlight, you can take notes, how you can build notes together, and you don't even have to buy in to do that. Now, at this point, I'm going to fully disclose to you guys, I told you that I didn't say that I bought in, but I kind of did. So as I did research and as I used this over the last year, I found out I wanted to be able to use tools like the Sermon and Bible Study Builder, and I wanted to be able to add some of my own books into that list. And so the package that I currently want is about $900. Okay, that's a lot of money. I think that it is well worth it because, to put things in perspective, the phone that most of you are watching this video on is $1,000, and we buy a new one of those every, 2 years? So while it sounds like a lot of money, for me, it saves me a whole lot of time, and it puts a whole lot of research in my hands that are a whole lot of research ability in my hands that I wouldn't have otherwise. Now, since I mentioned that, I did not spend $1,000 on this software yet. I have to save up for it, like everybody else does, right? Because I don't have that kind of money. So I'm saving up for it. But while I'm saving up for it, a friend of mine from, well, not friend, but an acquaintance from social media let me know there's something called Faith Life Connect. So Faith Life and Logos go together. Faith Life Connect is essentially a subscription service. And I ended up joining the premium version. There's 3 different levels. There's like a starter, an intermediate, and a premium. Premium is only $25 a month. You get a 14-day free trial, by the way. And you get about 300 or 400 resources, dictionaries, lexicons for doing Greek and Hebrew studies, some commentaries in there. Okay, so that will help you study, and I'm going to show you how to do that in the future when it comes to all the tools that they have. But it also opened up all the tools that are available. Some tools that you might hear of are Fact Book, again, Sermon Builder, Bible Atlas. There's an advanced timeline. These are all things that can help you study the text. And a lot of them you do have to pay for. So I wanted to let you know that this is out there. For those of you who might be new to this world, this has been a brief overview of how I use the Bible and how I study with Logos Bible software. And knowing that I have, after the last year of using it and reviewing it, decided that I need to jump up. I am hoping to buy in, so to speak. Here, hopefully in the next year, I'll be able to put together $1,000 to get into the package that I want, that will match my needs. But until I do that, all I got to do is pay $25 a month, and I have all those resources and features right at my fingertips. And that's something you could check out and you could try to. I'm encouraging you, which is crazy, to do that. Not to stop using your paper Bible. Mine's right here, and it's open to Galatians. Look, I didn't even have to flip because I'm going through Galatians and teaching it to you guys. So I still use my physical Bible, but this is a fantastic resource for those of you guys who work and don't have hours and hours to pour into Bible study. This might be a tool that you'd be interested in using and helping in the future. And I wanted to let you know that not only is it available, there is a free version that has limited ability, and then there's a subscription version that's pretty inexpensive that you can use to try out. And then if you get into it and you like it, you can look into buying into one of the packages. If you have any questions on all this, please feel free to ask me down in the comments. I will do my best to answer them with the knowledge that I'm still pretty new to all this. I'm still getting to know all this information myself, but I'll do my best to answer them and point you in the direction you have. I want to just repeat again and let you know, down in the description, I'll put a link because I am a Logos affiliate, which means if you choose to buy in or if you choose to buy some products from Logos and you do it through that affiliate link, I will get a little bit of a kickback, and I think that you get a discount as well, which makes it worth it for you. But this video wasn't about this. This video is about sharing a resource that could help you dig deeper into the Word, understand it better, and be more confident in sharing your faith with others as you learn and grow in Christ. I hope this has been helpful, friends. Don't forget, be the Christian you claim to be.